99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You already know what time it is. Right here, we are joined this evening by pop punk's finest. We got Ottawa, Ontario's own as well, from the nation's capital. We got Randy of We Were Sharks right here, live on the radio. Randy, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great. I've been doing great. I got to say, first and foremost, really huge fan of We Were Sharks, so it's definitely an absolute honor just to have this little bit of time to talk everything pop punk and We Were Sharks with you here this evening. So thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it means a lot.
But I do know as well you're very busy, so I'm not going to take you away from your night too long. But I want to take you back to the year 2012, January 27th to be exact. We Were Sharks released their debut studio album called Highways. Looking back 13 phenomenal years, can you tell us the story behind this album?
So Highways kind of started, we had 2 EPs out, Holy Rip and 3 for Free. And we were like, well, why don't we just kind of mash those guys together? And we were touring so much at the time, just doing small tours and stuff, that we're like, we got to call the album Highways because we're never home. We're always on the damn road, and all we seen was highways. So we called the album Highways, and I think we wrote like 3 or 4 new songs for it, but then re-recorded all the earlier stuff to make it sound a lot better and more like we were sounding at the time. But I actually got really sick during the making of that album. So if you go back and listen to it, my voice is really, really scratchy on a lot of these songs, and we had to take, I want to say like 2 weeks off to go back and redo some of the vocals, because I think I had pneumonia or something like that crazy, which happened quite a bit in the earlier years.
And especially back in 2012, this was right before like social media really took off and had its peak. So I mean, at this time, this was studio time. So if you had pneumonia, if you were sick, you either do it or you miss out on money that you spent on studio time. So it's not like you can just be like, oh, I'm sick, give me 2 weeks, guys. We'll meet back up at my house after. Like, this is studio time, so it's completely understandable that you just definitely tried your absolute hardest. But I will say, this album turned out phenomenal.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's we had no choice to grind it through, and the guys were great about it. So even just like working in the studio was awesome with the guys. They really, really tried their best to take care of me. And when things weren't going the best, they're like, "No, it sounds great." So we got through it. Still very proud of it, and I definitely appreciate everybody that took a listen to it. Like, honestly, it kind of kickstarted us.
And speaking of kickstarting as well, because obviously, as you said, you recorded this album while you were really, really ill. Did you have any idea that this album would actually gain as much traction as it did? Because like you said, this album was pretty much the start of the very, very huge ongoing success for We Were Sharks.
Not a clue. If I'm being honest, we were just like, a few guys that just wanted to play pop punk, and we didn't know if anybody was going to like it or not. We were just kind of recording stuff that we would listen to, and I want to say we got lucky with it. So we're very grateful that it did what it did.
And if I'm not mistaken, this was actually the album that actually got you guys your very first record deal with Revival Records, if I'm not mistaken.
No. So the next one, Not a Chance, is when everything kind of started. Not a Chance kind of started getting the more of like that bigger buzz where more labels were kind of approaching us at the time. But Highways definitely got us on the map. We got lucky.
I will definitely say Highways definitely did. That was one of the albums that actually really where I actually first discovered you guys. Like, the Blackout Anthem is still one of my favorite songs.
Thank you, man. We're pretty young and pretty drunk.
Weren't we all at one point?
Yeah.
But going even back before that album, I actually read as well, and this is the one thing I actually did not know until I was doing the research for this interview, but I read before before We Were Sharks, you guys were also known as just simply Sharks. But
yes,
due to unfortunate circumstances, you actually had to change the name to We Were Sharks. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind that situation.
Well, there was a band from the UK called Sharks as well, and there was like a few kind of, more important people in the industry kind of going, hey, just so you know, there's another band called Sharks, and if you're going to take this serious, you might want to change your name. And so we decided, well, I mean, we were Sharks, So can we just keep Sharks in the title? So we just kept it as We Were Sharks.
I got to say that's definitely catchy because I mean you were
Thank
called
you.
Sharks, and now we were Sharks.
We had a hard enough time just coming up with Sharks, so we're like, we have to do another name.
Do you remember actually some of the like potential names that would have been the band like while you were just brainstorming Sharks?
I want to say Knuckle Beach was one of them, if I remember correctly.
That's pretty gnarly.
When we had like all the original members, I remember Terrence McCauley. He was writing some of this stuff under A Ship Called Hope, which was like another kind of idea for the name. But I think that was like I don't remember ever coming up with a name. I'm not good with names, so I stayed away from it.
And also in 2017, you were actually featured on Mystery Weekend's album Surprise on the song called The Obscenity Prayer. I was wondering, how did that opportunity actually come to be for you? And of course, what was it like just working with Mystery on this particular song for their album?
It was kind of like an accident, if I'm being honest. So they were recording in Ottawa with a good friend of mine who he produced. He worked on the New Low album. And he worked on, he did Highways with us as well. And he's done like a bunch of like my older bands and other guys in Sharks bands. So he hit me up saying that they want an extra voice for like gang vocals. And so I went in and kind of was like banging out some gang vocals. And on that song, I could hear something. And he goes, "Yo, I know you hear something, do it." And I'm like, I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, but Brody was like such a G on it. He goes, "Yeah, give it a shot." So I did it and he liked it. And I just I thought he was going to go and do it, but he's like, let's just keep it in. So it was pretty cool, to be honest. Like it was unexpected. And then Jason, who plays in Sharks, Jason Mooney, he started actually playing guitar for them and he toured around with them and stuff.
Some of the most spontaneous things are the best things within the music industry. A lot of the times you're just in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, they kept it in, so that was really, really cool. That was an honor for me.
And also, the following year, We Were Sharks actually had another monumental thing actually happen to them. You guys inked a deal with Victory Records. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this monumental record deal. And of course, how did they actually discover you guys?
So at the time, we were in Chicago, and I think his name was Ron, and I feel really bad because he was the one that came to see us, and he was the best. So we were playing in Chicago, and I guess he showed up and kind of liked what we were doing. And at the end of that tour, we had a day off, and we had 2 more shows, I want to say. And on the day off, they kind of gave us a call and talked about, hey, let's maybe get something worked out. And I remember on the day off, all of us were kind of like, really? Like, you just seen us play a show, like that's what we're gonna do. Like it was kind of cool. It was like I guess it's something you dream of as an older dude. Like Victory was the king of labels back in the day, you know, and it was really, really cool to be part of that.
Are you guys still currently signed with Victory today, or was that just a few records you guys did?
We are not signed with Victory. Victory, I'm pretty sure, is no more, actually, to be honest with you. Yeah, we just we did lost touch on Victory, and that was it.
I actually did not know Victory actually wasn't a thing anymore. I do know their website's still up, but I mean, there's websites from 20 years ago that are still up and running. So I mean,
fair.
Might as well let the domain run out, you know.
I thought they got bought out, but I could be wrong. I don't know too much about all of that ins and outs and all that kind of stuff. They get me to sing and do stuff like that. So.
Well, it's still pretty cool that you guys at least had one album on Victory as well. That's like amazing. Most bands getting signed to Epitaph back in the day. Like Epitaph is another huge label.
Mm-hmm. Well, walking into Victory, because we went up to Chicago to meet everybody at Victory, and like just walking into the office was absolutely mind blowing. It kind of hit me then when we were in there. I'm like, oh my God, this is Victory Records. Like, this is super cool.
When you were actually in there in the offices, did you actually bump into any other punk bands or any other musicians, or was it just strictly label personnel?
It was strictly label personnel. We were shooting videos with them too, so it was like just strictly business on that. But it was still one of those things where you're just like, wow.
And also, February 23rd, 2018, you guys actually released, in my opinion, one of the best pop punk albums to actually grace the genre in a long time. And that record is called Lost Touch, that you mentioned throughout the broadcast. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this absolutely stellar album, because I will say this, and I'm not just saying this, Randy, because you're here. If you play it from one right to the end, it's absolutely unskippable.
Thank you so much. Honestly, that means a lot. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that album, especially for myself. We teamed up with Paul Mark Russo from Silverstein. So he came in and we had these song ideas and we kind of really fleshed them out with him. And he's such an incredible songwriter and incredible, just his ear is, and I've learned so much from working with him. So that was the first time we ever worked with somebody like that. And for me, it was a lot, just trying to like soak it all in and really trying to be better than, I was on the last albums. And all the guys kind of felt the same. And it was the first album on like Victory, right? So it was like, hey, we gotta show what we got. So there was a hell of a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that album. But for us, it turned out great. Like we're very proud of it.
And I really enjoyed how you guys actually kicked off that album as well with Beyond Repair. I find that song just absolutely got you amped and ready to go for the rest of the record. But with that being said, can you tell us a bit more about Beyond Repair? And of course, just the work that went into this particular song, because there's so much going on in this song, but it's put together so well as well.
That I can't remember who had that riff. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure if it was like one of the guys or like Paul was playing around with something and one of the guys brought it up, but it was just like, it was a different song. Most of the Shark stuff was very skate punk. And, it's not that saying that song's not best, but it was a little different. And I'll be honest, it had me a little worried at the start, because I'm like, what are we going to do for this? But as soon as we sat down and really started like pushing out everything, I think we all knew, and same with Victory, we all knew like, this is the single.
And also, while we're actually on the topic of Lost Touch as well, another phenomenal song you guys did is actually Hotel Beds, but the music video had a Brady Bunch style to it. I just got to dig into that a little bit. What made you guys decide to just bring up a little bit of the Brady Bunch? Because what you guys did that actually was perfect.
Well, thank you. We can't take credit for that. That we were actually, so when we first went down to Victory, they wanted to shoot a few music videos for us. And that was one of them. So one of the guys had the idea and we're like, yeah, nope, that works with us.
I got to say, it definitely was a phenomenal music video. And the nostalgia aspect as well. I mean, there's a lot of people that have done the Brady Bunch aspect side of things, and it always seems to work out.
It was a lot of fun to shoot. We shot a couple videos in a couple of days, and it was hard, but it was so much fun.
And with that being said, because obviously this album is absolutely phenomenal. You released that on Victory Records. I do know as well, you said you guys are getting back into pop punk as well. What actually made you guys decide to reemerge back into the scene?
If I'm being honest, like when we released, we got into the studio to record New Low after a great tour, and we banged out this album, and we were so excited. I was especially excited because we got to play with a little more like R&B kind of sounds and stuff like that. And I was so excited to release it, and COVID happened. And it just kind of derailed our whole plans. So with a lot of other bands, and they bounced back from it. But I think for myself anyways, being an older guy doing this kind of music, I'm being honest, I just didn't know if there was much of a future to continue after, because we had no idea what was going to happen after COVID, right? And we had so many tours get canceled and so many little things kind of get messed up that we just, for myself, and I don't want to speak for everybody in the band, it just kind of derailed everything for myself. And I really got into writing country and working on country stuff with a lot of people and doing it on my own. And I personally put Sharks in the back burner, which I didn't mean to, but that's kind of what happened. And we got offered Blues Fest this year. And I think that really kind of sparked it back for me. I was like, oh, people still care about this. I still care about this. And it's been so fun kind of reuniting with the guys and working on all these songs that we just got so excited. And then we got offered this Teenage Bottle Rocket tour, which that band is amazing. Those guys are amazing. And then we got offered Heart of Gold Fest. And we're like, okay, I guess we're fully back. And honestly, it's about damn time.
And all that I have to say is Blues Fest, people that are running that, if you're watching this, thank you. Right? Thank you. On behalf of all the We Were Shark fans, thank you for just reaching out.
Hey, we're very shocked, so it's awesome. And I already started writing new stuff, so that'll be a lot of fun.
And before we actually just get into the new stuff as well, I know you mentioned as well you did a little bit of country music, and I know the fans that are listening on the radio, they're like, oh my God, man, this is a punk rock station. We don't want to hear it. But with that being said, there is still some people that are very versatile when it comes to music genres. Can you tell us a bit more about your country music? And of course, where can we actually check that out, man?
Unfortunately, you can't check it out just yet. I haven't released any of it. The people in my life and the guys in Sharks have really been pushing me to kind of drop it. I've gotten to work with some people and stuff, but I've actually been in the studio recording some songs, and I will be dropping that soon enough. It's if you like country, I hope you like it. If you don't like country, I hope you check it out. But it is much different than Sharks. But I can tell you, all the Shark guys are very, very supportive, and I would say they're the ones that really, really push me to go out and do this. And I've had a few close friends and family members also kind of push me. I'm lucky enough to get to play music for a living. I get to do covers in Ottawa. Like I played all weekend at Heart and Crown Preston in a cover band called the Young Bucks. So I'm pretty lucky that I get to do that. So I just had to broaden myself, because pop punk's great, but I also love other stuff as well.
I'm the same way as well. At the end of the day, I'm a DJ. I don't really love country music, but I do dabble with some artists. I mean, Brantley Gilbert's one of those artists I'm really geared towards. So I will say I'm definitely looking forward to your record, Randy. I definitely will check it out. Thank you.
We'll be dropping singles soon, I promise.
And speaking of new We Were Sharks, I know you said you're writing new music. So with that being said, my next question was actually, will we actually get a chance to hear new music from We Were Sharks this year or the foreseeable future? But you kind of already answered that. So with that being said, what can the fans expect from this new We Were Sharks music?
It's more grown up. We're not, when we started this band, I was 24. I'm no longer 24 years old. It's been a long time. So if you listen to New Low, we're kind of taking the best from New Low and moving along with it. With that being said, though, some of it's going to be a little more aggressive. Some of it's going to be a little more laid back and have a more of a pop vibe. But we're always going to continue doing what We Were Sharks does. We're just going to grow. And yeah, you probably will hear at least one song before the new year. We'll probably end up dropping something before the new year.
And also, as you mentioned as well, Teenage Bottle Rocket, We Were Sharks, all across Canada. What can your fans expect from these performances this September? And of course, where can we snag ourselves some tickets if we haven't already done so?
Well, you got to check online. We'll be posting the tickets for all the shows. So we'll constantly be updating all that. And what can you expect from this tour? I mean, like we've done all the time, it's just a party. We're here to have a good time. We're here to party. It's a show, and we're here to have a good time. And I hope you guys bring the energy. I know you do. Every show we get to play, you guys bring the energy. And we'll give it right back.
And I'm super excited for Club 27. It's going to be a Sunday night in Ottawa. But I'm telling you, it's going to feel like a Friday night when We Were Sharks and Teenage Bottle Rocket takes the stage. So I don't think that week Sunday even exists. It's going to go Sunday right back to Monday, right back to Friday. It's going to go Friday, Saturday, Friday, then Monday. That's how it's going to work for me.
I 100% agree with that.
But no, I got to say, it's going to be a phenomenal tour. But with that being said, because I do know you say there's going to be a new song that we might hear before the end of 2025. Will any new songs actually debut on the set list?
We're gonna try to get one in for this Teenage Bottle Rocket tour. We're gonna try to get this one in.
I gotta say, I saw the face. You were like, should I say it? Should I not? I had to at least try. You know what I mean? I was waiting for you to be like, no comment. But hey, I appreciate. I have to at least try.
Hey, I'm a pretty honest guy. I will always tell you the truth, and I'm gonna say we're gonna try to have something out for that and try to sneak it into the set.
But aside from the new music and of course your country record that's currently being worked on, and of course Teenage Bottle Rocket Tour and then Blues Fest and everything else going on, what is next for yourself, Randy, and of course the rest of We Were Sharks? Like, is there anything we missed during this evening's interview? Anything you still want to touch on, talk about, or promote?
Honestly, we're not just going to speak for me. I'm going to speak for everybody in the band. We are so excited to be back. We are so happy that you guys have continued supporting us. We haven't done anything for 5 years, and we still have the absolute best fans who are constantly, having these Spotify numbers go through the roof for us, constantly asking us to come play your city. Like, honestly, you don't know how much that means. And I promise you from the bottom of our hearts, we are going to give everything back to you guys, because you guys are the absolute best, honestly.
And Randy, before we actually part our ways here this evening, obviously I know how to follow you and the rest of the band across social media. But for people that might not be that social media savvy and haven't smashed that follow button yet, how do we go about following you guys across all social media platforms? That way we can stay updated on the tours and new music.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever social media is, it's just We Were Sharks. And it could be We Were Sharks Band, but I'm pretty sure it's We Were Sharks. You just gotta pop it in and you'll see our ugly mugs all over the place. You can't miss it.
And I gotta say quickly, Randy, before we wrap things up and part ways, I just want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for years of amazing music. Thank you so much for all the music that you've created, not only for yourselves, but also for the fans like me as well. I can definitely say your music helped me through a lot of difficult times in my life. So thank you so much for the music. And I'm so glad to hear We Were Sharks are back and better, not even better than ever, just back at doing whatever you guys do best. So I'm super stoked to see you guys in September at Club 27. And I'm super stoked to see you guys on the big stage at Blues Fest. So thank you so much for all the amazing music.
I thank you so much. And again, from the bottom of my heart and everybody, thank everybody that continues listening. We're back, baby. We're back.
Randy, thank you so much for a bit of your time here this evening. Hopefully down the line we can make this happen again. But for now, have yourself a wonderful night, and we definitely shall talk again here soon. Thank you so much again.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Honestly, my pleasure.